Have you ever made a sliding door in Unreal only to realize it won't fit every size and you have to replace every single door in your project? What if one blueprint could handle any sliding door of any size, of any pivot, in any direction with no mesh replacements needed? Let's build it together under 15 minutes. So I'm going to press Ctrl Space and I will go to my folder, Door Tools. I'm going to right click on Blueprint class, and I will select an actor and I will call this Blueprint Door Sliding. I will open this and I will click on Add and I will add a sphere collision. So a sphere collision, you can add this. Now here's a little tip. You can also go to other blueprints. So in the past we made this sphere collision. You can press Ctrl C and you can paste the same components, and the same goes for also nodes. So we've made these nodes in the past to set the sphere collision from the details panel. I can select this, press Ctrl C, and I can go now to my door sliding blueprint. I can go to the construction script and I can press Ctrl V and connect this here. Now this variable here is grayed out because we don't have a variable of it. So you can right click and create a variable called sphere collision radius. So that's one easy way or one fast way to create your blueprints as well. Once you create a blueprint, you can borrow some element from it to create your new blueprint. Now, let's keep things simple and let's keep going. So let's go to the event graph. Let's select these events, delete them. We don't want them. We want to select our sphere collision and we want to create two events, one on begin overlap and one on end overlap. So I'm going to click component begin overlap. I will select my sphere collision again and I will click on component end overlap. When we want to animate objects with blueprint, we want a timeline. So right click and let's create a timeline. So search for it and scroll down and let's call this door timeline. Let's connect begin overlap to play and let's connect end overlap to reverse. All right, now let's open this. Let's create a track, add a float track, and let's call this alpha. And let's set the length to 1 second. Right click to create a keyframe, set the time to 0 and the value to 0. Right click again to create another keyframe, set the time 1 and the value to 1. Now press F to focus our selection of the keyframes. Select both and you can press 1 on the keyboard to set the key interpolation to auto. Now let's go to the event graph. Under variables here, we want to create a new variable with the ability to select an actor that we can slide. So let's type the name to be actor to slide and let's set the variable type from boolean to actor. So search for actor, select object type, actor, select object reference. And let's make both of these variables to instance editable or public so we can also edit them. Now, let's click on the actor to slide and let's get it. And let's search this time for location. So if you type location, you will find under transformation, we have multiple nodes we can choose from. And I highly recommend experimenting with these, whether your actor here is a child of another actor, like the frame here, or no, it's not. So just like the door example in the past, we want to create a blueprint that works in most scenarios. And we can do that by trial and error. So now I'm going to start simple. I'm going to click on the actor to slide and I will search for location. And let's go with the set actor relative location. Okay. And let's get the update connected here. And let's get the new relative location. And let's make Victor for now. And let's get the alpha to multiply it with the slide amount. So I'm going to search for multiply. I'm going to add a new variable and I'm going to call it slide amount. And I'm going to click and drag and connect this here. If you compile, this will be a value of 0. So for testing purposes, let's set it to 120. And let's say right now the door is on the x-axis. So I want to slide my door on the x-axis. Okay. Now, so let's add the blueprint first. Let's select the actor we want to slide and let's set the default sphere collision radius to a specific value. So I'm going to click here and set this to something like 300. Let's compile now. And let's test our blueprint. So let's select the door first, make sure it's set to movable instead of static. So this is very important. Now let's test this. Notice what is going to happen. The door is going to move to the center of the world because here we have x is the new value, but we have y and z 0 and 0. So the value of z moved to 0 and the value of y moved to 0 as well. But the door still moved on the x-axis. So if you remember, relative location will be treated as world location if the actor is not a child of another actor. So if you move this actor here, or let's say these 3 frames of the glass, and let's make them the child of the door frame. So this door frame here, if we move it around, these are attached to it. Now, this door is going to work since we set the door to be a child of the frame. So now if you get near, you can see that the door now is opening and closing on the x-axis since it's a child of this actor, which is in most or some scenarios is fine if your project is set up in a way that looks like this. But let's say it's not set up something like this. It's set up like this, where the actors are separate from each other and we don't have parents and children of the actors. So for that, instead of setting the actor relative location, we want to set the actor location. So click and drag and let's search for set actor location, and we can add this and we can connect this here. Now, if you connect this here, we will get the exact same result we got earlier, where the actor is going to snap to the 0 point. And now if the actor also is a child of this, it will also snap. So interesting. How can we fix this? Well, what if we get the initial value at event begin play of the world location of this actor, and then we can add the new value here to the initial location and see what happens. So that's very simple. Let's get the actor to slide and let's get world location. So type location, and here we can get the actor location, and get actor location will be the world location. So let's promote this to a variable now, and let's call it initial location. And let's get an event begin play. So event begin play, and let's connect this here. Okay. Now, what we need to do is to add this value to the initial location of our actor that we want to slide. So click and drag from this vector, type add. So this is an operation called add, where we're going to add these values to the initial values, and we want to add it to the initial location. So get the initial location, connect it, and then connect this here to the new location. So let's compile and save and click on play. Now get near the door, it will open. Get far, it will close. Let's select the door elements here and make them not children and test this as well. Of course, this is going to work now, as you can see, and it works nicely. So we can now select the blueprint. We can select the slide amount, make it into an instance editable, compile. Let's say I want to open this 160. Click on play now. This will open 160 units and it will close exactly where it was before. Nice. Now, what about the following? So what if I select all these elements here and I rotate this like so? What is going to happen? Well, let's take a look. Here's what's going to happen. It will also move on the x-axis, as you can see here. So now we need to figure out a way to move it on the y-axis or on these axes here. So let's do that. If you are enjoying this lesson and you want to take your Unreal Engine skills with Blueprint to the next level, check out my Advanced Blueprint course. It's designed for architects and Archviz studios. With over 200 lessons, it will save you months of trial and error. We will learn how to build systems from points of interest to teleportation to navigation modes to mini-maps and much more. If you want to learn more, check out the link in the description. So what we need to do here is multiplying the slide amount with the forward or right vector, and then we can add the result to the initial location and set that in the new location. Now, every 3D object have 3 vectors. So when you select the object here, we have X, Y, and Z, and we have forward vector, right vector, and up vector. So up vector is very easy to demonstrate, but forward and right, it depends on your object and it depends on how your object is rotated. So you may want to use different solution from what I'm going to use, but you can follow along, and if forward vector does not work for you, you can use the right vector. When you rotate any object in the editor, the forward vector or right vector or up vector, they always update automatically. Think of it as like the nose of the object, the forward vector. It always points forward even when we rotate it. So to demonstrate, this is the world gizmo, but if we click on the gizmo rotation, so let me remember where it was in the new version. Yeah, this can be the forward vector. This is the up vector and this is the right vector. So the local axis basically is what are these vectors are. Now, I'm gonna stop talking and let's go to the solution. Let's make some space here. And before we do the addition here, we want to get the slide amount and the alpha, this value here, and we want to multiply it with the forward vector. So let's get the actor to slide and get its forward vector. So if you type vector, you will see under transformation, we have get actor, forward vector, right vector, and up vector. In your case, you maybe want to use forward or right. I'm going to go with forward. Now, let's do multiplication here. So type multiply and let's multiply the forward vector with the slide amount like so. And let's add the result to our initial location. So click and drag to add this here. And now let's compile and save and let's test this. So I'm going to click on play and let's get near the object. As you can see, it slides nicely now. Beautiful. So if I'm going to select these three objects, just to make sure it works, even if we have the objects as children of a mesh, this will also works nicely. Amazing. So if you want to add delay or if you want to manipulate the animation speed, first let me select the door here, the frame, and set it back to its default rotation so we can see better. Let's open the sliding door here and let's add a delay node between the end overlap and reverse. So click and drag to add a delay node and let's click and drag from the duration, promote it to a variable and slide delay rotation. That's a nice duration. That's a nice name we can give it. And let's compile. You can set the default value to be 0 or we can set it to 0.5. I think that's nice. And next we want to set the play rate of the timeline. So let's go to the construction script. Let's get a reference for our door timeline. Let's get it and set the play rate. And let's promote this to a variable and let's call it timeline play rate. And let's connect this here. Let's compile. Let's set this to 1 as the default value. Let's make the timeline play rate into an instance editable, make it a public variable, and let's set it to play slightly slower. So I'm going to set it to 0.5, for example. Now I'm going to click on play. I will get near my door. This will open. I will get far. This will close after half a second. Amazing. All right. So I plan in the future to make another part of this series where we can open two doors. So slide them in both directions. You can check out the link in the description if you want to watch that lesson. I hope you found this lesson useful. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. As always, thank you so much for watching. You can leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Stay hydrated and take care.